Just getting sound going. Hey, Senior Revelry, welcome to the stream. I'm going to give it a few minutes for people to show up, so I'm going to just play some best of one standard while I wait. Kind of like this song. Oh shoot, one of those was green. I thought none of those were green. Oh well. So I get for only half paying attention. Yeah. Hey Angel. Mononoke, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm giving it a few minutes for people to get in here, so I'm just playing some best of one standard in the meantime. And then I'll take votes on what people want to watch. Really need to draw a land. Senior Revelry, what are you talking about with the RK9 guy? Oh, you mean my current opponent. That's pretty neat. Alright, please land. They are clearly on mono green snow here. Ugh. Well, I can play this and draw 2 cards. It's not bad. Found land. Yippers. Well, that was pretty good too. Get in there, Faye. For anyone who hasn't seen this deck, this is Adventure Ultimatum. So it's Sultai Ultimatum, but it's also an Adventures deck, so it's not on the Yorion plan. It's the deck I'm currently testing in Standard right now. That's not where I was hoping to be. I guess let's offer the trade for beasts. Alright, so I've got one of each color, so I guess I want to go find, like, black is the only thing I don't have double color of. So do I want to leave up Brazen Borrower, or do I want to foretell the Epiphany? I think I want to leave up Borrower. Hey, Dual Lands. Welcome to the stream. After this game, I'm going to get started on my main game plan, and I'll let people vote on that. I can either play Standard to test for the Mythic Qualifier next weekend, or I can play Sealed to test for the Open this weekend. So if people want to throw some votes in, let me know. Let's see, sack food to put a counter on it. Alright, no blocks. I guess I'll bounce this. I will not be playing Sealed on Monday because that'll be after the Open. I'm actually going to do some more practice for the... sorry, 1 second here. What am I doing? I guess I'm on Lovestruck Beast. I'm going to do more practice for the Mythic Qualifier, so I'm going to do Standard on Monday. I know normally I do Draft on Monday, but I want to try and get as much practice in as possible, so I will be doing Standard on Monday. So keep that in mind when voting for tonight if you'd prefer to see Sealed or Standard. We've got 1 vote for Sealed. We got 2 votes for Sealed. No, I haven't looked at any spoilers. Is it like Strixland or something? Strixhaven? Ooh, Kogla, that's pretty dang good. Play this land. I don't have any humans to bounce. So the Shadow's Verdict is basically dead. I guess I'm on foretell this, play Brazen Borrower. I think I'll just take a hit from Kogla if they send it. Oh yeah, they've got new names for the 2 color combinations. I hadn't heard that yet. Like I said, I haven't looked at any spoilers. I'll bet people don't start using it though. I'll bet people just stick to the ones they're used to. So they don't have a human? Maybe a double block. I think I would. So they can make a food with the goose. So they can make a Wicked Wolf indestructible. So I think I'm good to just double block here on Kogla. I don't know of any combat tricks they would play. Yeah, that works for me. It's like this. So the question is, do I want to play Vorinclex or do I want to play Alrund's Epiphany? Well, I think I'm on Epiphany at this point because they tapped their goose. Is it a masterpiece in each pack? I heard that there was like a masterpiece in each box. I suspect they just made the food for like F6 value. I realize that's not a thing in Arena, but the like not having to click through stuff. But it was clearly a mistake. Expect a chump from the Florahedron here. Really? You have a pump spell or something? They don't actually have to block, they can go to 1. Yeah, food is not a treasure, that is true. Alright, so I suspect this game's about over, so last call on votes. We have 2 for sealed at the moment. Oh, they have their own Vorinclex. I have 3 votes for sealed. I have you, an Angel, oh, and Mononokel. Angel and Mononokel's names are in the same color, so I missed it. So, it will be sealed. I didn't even see Senor, but sealed it will be. Alright, so if I block here, I'm taking 9, 10. Sure. And as a reminder, I will be streaming my Open, at least day 1, and I'll be starting at 8 AM tomorrow for that. Alright. Sealed. So I can do best of 3 or best of 1. I think tomorrow for day 1 I'm going to do best of 1. I was listening to I know when to queue. I was listening to Limited Resources and somebody did the math on your odds. So if you care about gems, you want to do best of 3 because the gem payout is so much better. And here, I'll actually open it up here. So if you look here, this is best of 1. Even if you make it to 7 wins, you would get fewer gems than it costs to get in. So the gem reward payout is much lower, but it's 7 wins or 3 losses. In traditional, it's 4 wins, so best of 3. It's 4 wins or 1 loss, but 5,000 gems at the top, and even at 3 wins. So you actually make a profit at 3 wins, and even at 2 wins, you're way ahead. So the gem payout is way, way better in best of 3. But your chances of making it to day 2 are approximately 5% better in the best of 1. And I care more about day 2 than gems. As you can see, I have 32,000 gems. And actually, I have 52,000 gold. So I'm going to be playing with gold. The other thing that I heard on Limited Resources is that the general conversion rate is like 100 gems to, I'm sorry, 100 gold to 15 gems, I think it was. And so at 22,500 gems, that's like an 1,100 gem discount. So it's much better to play with gold if you have the gold. So I will be playing best of 1 tomorrow, but if I make day 2, it's best of 3. So I'm fine practicing best of 3. I think best of 3 has more practice to get done anyways. So I will do that. Where is it? Sealed, Kaldheim. I don't even see traditional sealed Kaldheim. There it is. Alright, here we go. Alright, let's see some bombs. Eradicator Angel is great. Tergrid is great. In Search of Greatness is bleh. A dual land. Alrund's Epiphany is pretty good, and Fira's Retribution is great. So I clearly want to try and get into black, maybe even black-white if I can, but we will see. Alright, so first I'm going to start by what do my gold cards look like. So I've got the green-black land, got a blue-black Saga that's good with snow, black-red, this card's pretty good. I've got the blue-black duel, I've got 2 of the green-white duel, Trickster, God's Heist, Retribution, which we knew about. This card I don't think is that good. And then I've got Port. What's my fixing look like? I have a green-blue land and a green-blue land. And I'm tired of this song. I have Horizon Seeker in green. And the Sentinel, if I really want to, I don't really want to play that, but if I really need the fixing, I can do that. What's going on, music? It's frozen. As far as my snow lands, I have a Snow Plains. I have no Snow Islands, 2 Snow Mountains, Dwarven Hammer, that card's great. Did I miss one? So, blue-green, 2 mountains, 2 swamps, oh, and plains. Okay, I forgot those swamps. So, still probably base green here. And the mythics I wanted to play were black, right? I mean, the rares I wanted to play were black. Has lore immunity from Tergrid God of Fright. Should have lore immunity to Tergrid Shadow, but apparently Tergrid Shadow can scare itself, in fact. So my black is actually pretty shallow, like really shallow. So I probably can't be base black. I can still totally play Tergrid on a splash. Eradicator Valkyrie is a lot harder to play on the splash. My white is also super shallow. I could splash like Bound in Gold, but otherwise I'm probably not playing any white cards. The rare that I wanted to play is double white. In red, I have the Fearless Liberator, the Dwarven Hammer, Frostbite, Double Helm. Helm's only good if I'm aggressive. Dwarven Reinforcement, Squash. I might have an aggressive deck here available to me. Let's start with the black-red deck and see what that looks like. Black-red aggro. So you. I don't know if I would want the shadow or not, but I'll put it in for now. Pup, Bite, Helms, Cavalry, Liberator, Hammer, Dwarven Reinforcements, Squash, Berserker. Ozstriker, I'd appreciate it if you would stay pleasant in the chat, please. I'm going to have to restart my soundtrack. I don't know why it's not working. There we go. Oh, we heard the song already, though. Alright. Banning that guy. I don't know how to get this window back off. There it is. Close. Okay. This would go in. Raven Wings would make it in. What do the creature types look like? Very short on creatures. A fair number of Berserkers, so Bloodline could probably make it in. Craven Hulk would go in. I guess Kennel Master. So it looks something like this. How many creatures is this? It says 13, but Dwarven Hammer is kind of a creature, so that's 14, and double Dwarven Reinforcements 15, 16, so it's plenty of creatures. This is a legit deck. Mononokel, I haven't seen the math things you're talking about, but I agree that power level is a big deal in this format. The synergy is hard to make happen because it's just you need so much synergy for it to be really good, and that's true in any sealed format, but the bombs are really bomby in this format, which I think has something to do with that. How many 2-drops do I have? If I count Elderfang Disciple, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's borderline. But I have this, which doesn't affect the board on 2, and then I have these. So this could be an aggro deck. We've got a Squash. Is it ever cheaper? I have 1 Giant, 1 Shapeshifter. Mononoke, we'll see what I'm going to play. I'm just looking at what my decks are, so I think that's important to know. Also, you know, if I end up in like some greed pile and my opponent's greed pile looks better, I could switch into this deck. So print screen. Okay, so this is one deck. Let's see what else we can play. Okay, so green would probably be the base of this deck. I would definitely play this, probably play the Gladewalker, assume I can play the Sculptor and Boreal Outrider. Horizon Seek would be in. Let's assume I could play Troll, Packmate would be in, and the big creatures are in, of course. I would definitely play the Rimewood Falls and this blue-green land, which allows me to play blue for sure, even if I'm just splashing. I think the Raven's good, Mistwalker's good. Maybe Pillar. I'm pretty short on like playable snow lands. And then we play the Epiphany and Disdainful Stroke. And then I'd play these swamps and I'd splash Tergrid for sure. I don't know about anything else. I'd probably play this Port. Maybe I'd probably play that land. I guess I'd play Frostpeak Yeti. This is really short on playables. And how much removal do I have? I have like Disdainful Stroke, Icebind Pillar, which is just okay in my deck, and that's it. So this doesn't seem good enough. So let's try a different base. What other fixing do I have? Oh, I also have that snow thing, right? The snow thing. Yeah, this. How many snow lands is this? 1, 2, 3. It's only 3 snow lands. Because I have 2 mountains and a plains. My snow doesn't really get there, so I can't really play a snow theme here. No dual lands. The only way to save a deck is to like build it and then say done. And then you can change stuff, and then if you don't save it and exit out, you go back to the first deck. But you can't save multiple decks, unfortunately. So what does... My red actually looks the deepest. The red-black deck actually might just be the best option. So I don't really have fixing, and my white's really shallow, so I can't play this Fura's Retribution as much as I would want to. And if I'm not in the red-black deck that I just looked at, what other decks do I have? Because this snow deck doesn't get there. I only have 3 snow lands, and I have 6. I'm only at 18 playables right now, and that's with a splash. So I think I'm on the red-black deck here. If anybody has any suggestions, feel free to make them, but I don't see any reason to play anything else. It's kind of a bummer. I got all these spell lands and I can't play like any of them, or almost any of them. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 6 snow lands. I mean, not snow lands, spell lands. But I don't have, like, the fixing to play them. I don't think I really like Trickster God's Heist. I mean, it gets better when you're playing cards like Elderfang Disciple, for example, because then you have stuff to trade. But I just don't think it's that good. Especially, like, if I'm trying to splash it, like, it's even worse then. Yeah, I think it's the red-black deck. Alright. It's kind of a shame, because, like, I have such... Like, these 5 creatures are all... Or 4 creatures are all very good. And so is Horizon Seeker. But I just can't afford to play it. It seems like I should be able to, but I don't think the green actually pairs with anything well enough to play it. And I don't, like, most of my green cards are good, but I just don't have enough of them. I don't remember if I had this recruiter in or not. Do I have any reason for Snowlands? I'll check in a minute. Because interestingly... Oh, yeah, I have Frostbite. Interestingly enough, I actually get to play 4 Snowlands in this color combination. So this is 24. So I think I'm off of the recruiter because I want to be aggro. And then heavier red, much heavier red. Of course, all the double color spells are black. So this is like a 9/8-ish deck. Lands, black. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I want red lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I have 5 2 or less drops, which is like one short of where I want to be, and one of them is questionable. But Tormentor's Helm can make up for some of that, and I have 2 of those. And then the Dwarven Reinforcements can be played at 2, and then actually cast at 3. And Jarl is kind of at 2. Yeah, I think that this can overrun some people. Is 9/8 right? Yeah, it's probably right. As far as the Bloodline Protector, I have 7 Berserkers. This makes Dwarf Berserkers, right? Yeah, okay. So I'm basically always going to name Berserker. I have 1 Shapeshifter. What's my Shapeshifter? Oh, itself, right. Making sure this is what I took the screenshot of. Yeah. Alright, I haven't really played an aggro deck yet in this sealed, so let's see how this goes. Alright, we have to change. We have to change the picture on the deck box. We can't have a green card. What's a good Helm? That seems like a good deck box card. No black, no 2-drop. This is probably not good enough. Alright, this is much better, actually. Am I putting a spell land on the bottom? Yeah, I think I am. Because I'm planning to use all my mana the first several turns. And the coming into play tapped is a big problem. So if they play nothing, the question is, do I play Helm and equip 2 Helms, or do I attack and boast? I probably play Helm and equip 2 Helms. Now I definitely do that. Equip. Equip. Get in. So now, unless I have a reason to do something else, I'm probably just on keep attacking and boast. Well, Packmate was really good. So they take 2 and I make another 2/1. Boast. And move a helm over. Man, another Packmate. Yeah, I guess I'm just on equip it. Get those extra 2 points in. My start was really good, but them going turn 3 Packmate, turn 4 Packmate makes me feel a lot worse about my chances here. Did this stop again? Keeps getting stuck. Let's try a different song. Yeah, I'm still gonna do this. Sculptor Winter's been really good for them too. Ugh, that's good too. They've just had all the right cards to stop me. I don't have a good reason to play this land, right? Yeah. I could have played the Jarl and then equipped, but I prefer it to be a surprise, like maybe they'll decide to attack because I don't have anything. Just like that. Yep. Alright. I would love to see, like, Frostbite. Ooh, that was good, too. Alright. I am now happy to play the land, because it's worth an extra damage here. So if they have, like, any removal spell, I'm basically just dead. But otherwise, I like my chances. 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Land was not what I wanted. So if I attack, am I dead? They can do 4 plus 6 is 10. If they draw a white snow land, then they can go 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So unless they do something, I think they only have 11. So I think I'm attacking here. Not attacking is pretty much a losing proposition anyways. Alright, let's see if they've got me. The reason I was counting about a white snow land is because of this land here. So if they have a white snow land, they can tap it for white, untap it, and then pop this. Alright, well that was about as close as it gets. Do I want to change anything? They're just on snow. They have just solid cards. I don't think I want this recruiter in. Shackles can't be good enough, right? Is Longboat any good? I hadn't really considered that before. But I don't think so. They have a bunch of 3/3s. It could be better than Elderfang Disciple. As good as that card generally is. So I have Dwarven Hammer plus 2 of these. So if I cut a creature, I have 3 more. It's 15. I still have enough creatures. I definitely liked my choice, by the way, of putting this on the bottom. That not having a tapped land was kind of a big deal. I mean, yeah, because I got that first attack in that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. I think I just run it back. Yeah. I have Turgid and I have a 2-drop. Sounds like a plan. So do I play Cavalry or do I foretell the Dwarven Reinforcements? I think there's a reasonable chance that this is a pack mate. And if that's the case, the Cavalry's not getting in. So I'm going to foretell the reinforcements. If I was on the play, this would be a Cavalry on 2. I was right. Squash is not bad, but doesn't get me anywhere at the moment. Play some reinforcements. Yeah. I hope they attack. I would love that. No? Okay. Ooh, that's really good for next turn. But right now I'm playing a Lantern. So if you haven't played with this card before, it's pretty awesome. It's going to bolt them every turn until they can't afford to get bolted. And then they either have to discard a card or sack a non-land permanent. And I can pay, pay 4 to untap it. So it's like a game plan in and of itself. Lantern seems fun. Maybe for me. Probably not as much for my opponent. Ooh, what does that do? Discard a card, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's do this first and see what they do. It's target player, so I could target myself. Alright, play this. Make my 2 things 3 power indestructible, swing for 6. By the way, I'm very happy about my choice to foretell on that first turn, or on turn 2, instead of playing the cavalry. Oh yeah, you see legacy play? How do people get this out super early? I can see totally abusing it once it's out, but 5 mana is no small feat. Ruby Storm. Alright, so I guess I'll do this first and see what they do. I have double removal spell, I can just swing in for 8. If they take 3, that'll be the plan. They probably need to discard a card. Oh, they took it. Nice. Alright, we'll Frostbite this, and we'll squash the other one and swing for 8. We could have like the bounce spell or something. Nope, they're just dead. Well, got there on that one. Nice and clean. Not like that first game. That first game was close. I am going to get myself a beverage, and I will be right back. Alright, I am back. Ooh, it's a burrito wizard. You think they'll conjure me up a burrito? I just had dinner, I'm not that hungry, but I could put it in the fridge. Yeah. Fearless Pup 1, Tormentor's Helm equipped 2. This is probably not a game for Tergrid's Shadow. Oh, you think they are a burrito? A wizard who is also a burrito? Is that because they conjured themselves? Or maybe they transmuted themselves into a burrito, so they could eat themselves when they got hungry. Green, red. Probably a Demon Pact where they said, make me a burrito. Yeah, you're probably right. That was probably it. So I'm going to send And I'm gonna foretell this. I can still play Raven Wings and equip next turn if that's what I want to do. Probably what I want to do is play Dwarven Reinforcements and Raven Wings next turn, and leave up my mana to boast the Fearless Pup. Ooh, I like that. I like them playing Do Nothing cards. I even have enough with the land in my hand to equip Raven Wings to one of the dwarves and still have enough mana to boast the pup. What sound do you think the pup makes when it boasts? Ooh, that's a good one. So they can actually kill the pup there. Right? Because if I go boast, it becomes a 5, a 4/2, which means the cavalry kills it. So I think I'm just on beat down with the pup. All boast cards have their boast in the flavor text. Oh, there you go. A woo! Good boasting, pup. Arnie slays the troll. Oh no! My pup! Oh, that's going to gain them life too. That's unfortunate. And Bloody Massacre. Ugh. I'm not trading that, am I? So they probably get to go get a worm if I trade for that. We get to add 2 red. They only have, no, they have 2 green. No. There's a card. So let's do this. Send in for 3. And play a Valkyrie. They don't gain the life until the turn after next. So I do have lethal on board at the moment. Just take 9, right? Yeah. I don't see any reason to do anything else. They would need 6 extra damage to kill me. The pump spell in green is 3 mana, which means they don't have enough to then play the 4-2 that can shoot stuff, so yeah, I think I'm safe. So I have 8 in the air, which means if they can cast a worm this turn, that is good enough. Foretell. Tap out? That's just lethal, right? So they could have a Demon Bolt. Oh, it can sacrifice itself? Let's see if I can make this work. Yeah. So I could Tergrid Shadow here. If I do that, I get to sacrifice the Valkyrie. I have to sacrifice my 2/2. They sacrifice the Cavalry and like the Rootless U. If I do that, they probably go get a worm. And they have enough mana to play it, which means that I lose. If I don't play it right now, go in for 4. If I play, I could play Tergrid, and then be not dead on the crackback. Alright. Oh, they gain a bunch of life too. Shoot. Yeah, there's not a lot I can do about it though. They're gonna gain 5 life. So I'm gonna hope that I don't die here, and then I can Tergrid Shadow. They have to sack 2 things, and if they're not tokens, I get them. Oh, I also get both of the sagas right now. Oh, I forgot about that. It's really good. Ah, darn it. Oh, good. I got the one I would prefer to get. So that's something. So I'm gonna get the card draw effect next turn. That's bad. I don't think I can win this. Oh, they're just gonna do nothing? Does that change anything? I still don't want them to be able to go dig out a worm. All my creatures are berserkers. So I get to draw cards. What can I draw? I can draw a squash. Ken Fennel Master would be too late. I can draw Frostbite. So I have to somehow survive this turn. I think I have to send my one creature and hope to draw something. And then I go block, block. If I draw a creature, block. That's 6, I'm still dead. Ugh. I don't think I have outs here. That certainly wasn't one of them. So if I have a removal spell, it looks like it can survive this attack. But it also looks like they're dead on board, so they have to make it. So I'm probably just dead. They could screw up on Tergrid's Shadow, but that seems pretty unlikely. Well, now I'm mega dead. Man, that Feed the Serpent on Tergrid, so good. Yeah, and I'm dead. That was a good game. It was very close. Alright, so what did I see? I saw red-black stuff with some green cards. I mean, I don't really have much sideboard with this deck, and I don't have another deck to sideboard into. Sure, a lot of removal, but like, what do I do about that? I can put in the Shackles, but that doesn't seem good. I could put in this Recruiter, but that doesn't seem good. It's too slow. I mean, I just have to go under them and hope it works out better. My pool is very, like, one-dimensional. I don't think it's especially bad, but I don't have a lot of choice, and I don't have a lot of sideboard. This would be a great best-of-one pool. Ugh. I have to throw this back. This is better. Kennel Master to the bottom, I guess? Yeah. So right now my turn 3 plan is to boast on the Fearless Liberator. What does he say? No one else had the spine for it, so I ran right between the giant's legs and hauled poor Valdir back to Axguard. Alright. I'm playing Craven Hulk here. And they may be giving the Hulk some wings. I may be giving the Liberator some wings, actually. We'll see. It's also possible if they play like a 3-2 or something, that I just attack with the Hulk, expecting them to double block, and then feed the Serpent something. Nope, or not. Alright, I guess I'm on Raven Wings. Here. Send them. Just play a big creature so I can feed it to the Serpent. Or like a 3-2. Oh, there's a big creature. I'll take that. Land would not be bad. Ooh, I like that they attack too. And Tergrid. Well, I'm going to feed the Serpent so that I can get in. Alright. The Burrito Wizard has exploded. I mean, I'm not changing anything, right? Take one more look. Duskwielder's terrible. Recruiter's too slow. I'm not winning the long game. Shackles could be a thing. I still don't like Longboat. What would I cut if I wanted to play Shackles? Do I have good combos with it? I have the Angel. That's basically it. No, it still doesn't seem good enough. Yeah, sure. We'll see if I'm on Foretell Dwarven Reinforcements or play Cavalry first. Honestly, there's a chance I foretell Tergrid Shadow and plan to play it on 4. It's not ideal, in that it means I'm not playing anything early, but it might be the plan. We'll see. Sculptor of Winter. Yeah, I'm gonna foretell this. And then next turn I'm probably playing the Disciple, even though I'm planning to Tergrid Shadow on 3. It makes it less suspicious that that's my plan. Actually, I'm not gonna do that. I'm going to foretell the Dwarven Reinforcements. So if they play nothing, I'll just play the Tergrid's Lantern. And... okay. And I can just tap them into Oblivion here. Because they're mana screwed, I'm going to play sort of a control route. Normally that's opposite of what you want to do, but they get so wrecked as soon as they play their second creature, and they don't have a lot of other options here. Play a creature. Guess not. I'm just gonna do this. So normally this isn't what you would want to do, but I think that this is good enough with my Tergrid Shadow in Foretell, because when they play their second creature, I just make them sack everything and empty the board. Excuse me. I'm actually going to play the Disciple here, because eating a card's kind of a big deal here, and like I don't really care that much about the body. I also kind of feel like they're probably playing something this turn. That's actually a reason against playing the Disciple, but yeah. This is a weird game, playing the control deck. Yeah, I'm gonna block. Play a creature. Didn't play a creature. Actually, I have enough to play Breakneck Berserker and untap Tergrid's Lantern. So that's going to be my plan here. Sure. That's great for me. Play creature. Ooh, 2 creatures. That's pretty good. By the way, I'm doing this on my turn instead of at instant speed because they have drawn an extra card on their turn, and I want them to have less choice. Okay, let's Shadow. And then I'll play Dwarven Reinforcements. Spell is pretty good. It's almost worth attacking. If I play Kenfell, oh, let's just untap it and see what they do with the second one. Yeah, you're right. This is lethal. Because they have to sack something and then I attack them. Well, that Lantern was pretty good that game. It was basically a one-card game plan. I mean, obviously my opponent got mana screwed and that's part of why that worked, but that was kind of nuts. This is going well so far. Turns out having a good aggro pool is good, especially when you have a couple of bombs. The Lantern has been amazing for me. The Angel has just not done anything yet, right? Well, it was a flyer one game, which was relevant. Didn't I lose that game, though? I did lose that game. Egg Ball. Hope my opponent doesn't crack under the pressure. This is a pretty slow hand, but I'm going to keep it. I really need to draw like a 2 or 3 drop, and I need to draw exactly 1 land. Well, my opponent's pulling to 5. Alright, deck, 2 drop. Or an equipment. I would take an equipment too. Nice. So my opponent has Frostbite, I guess? Which they'll probably hit the Liberator with, but I can't not play it. Huh. Do they just have full control on? I don't know what else they could have priority with. Ooh, maybe they're aggressive too. They did have Frostbite. They were just deciding to not play it. Well, land is good. I would have liked something to play, but I'll take this. So the question is, Cardor or Turgid's Lantern next turn? I think I'm on Lantern. Am I on Lantern? Yeah, I'm on Lantern. Pup can go all the way. Pup's done some work these matches. Playing that so I can squash in case I need to. Let's Lantern and see what they do. Well, let's go to main and then Lantern and see what they do. Alright, I'm just gonna keep Lanterning. They could be holding up counter magic and there's no reason to play into it. Alright, what was it? It was Struggle for Skemfar. So they're at least 4 colors. They got mana screwed there. We're really seeing like the reward of playing an aggro deck. Like, I have really been able to punish some opponents that have been too slow. Yeah, I mean, just run it back. Pup did go all the way. I mean, to be fair, it was really the Lantern. But the Pup did some work. The Pup did like 5 damage or something. I really want to keep this, but I can't. The opponent put me on the play? That's interesting. I wonder if that was an accident. Oh, this is real bad. I mean, I can't go to 5. I guess I'm putting the Kennel Master on the bottom. Come on, 2-drop. The Liberator. Oh, I want to top deck the Liberator so bad. Liberator. Yes! Ah! Ask and you shall receive. Alright, don't play anything, opponent. I want to just boast this. Boast you into oblivion. There we go. Frostbite, that's good. Yeah, who needs Divining Top when you can just divine what's on top? Alright, that's pretty good. If I draw land, I'm probably just on Hulk, the Craven Hulk. Yeah. There is some thought to attacking with Liberator, boasting, and then frostbiting the Packmate, but I don't really want to do that. And Craven Hulk can just attack into the Packmate, and if they play something else, they might try to double block, and I might be able to frostbite the other blocker. Or not. So that's interesting. I could Tergrid Shadow. I would lose my Liberator and my other thing. I would attack the Hulk for 4. That doesn't seem fantastic. I could also Doom's Carter. The plan would be to block with Hulk and Carter and get both of their creatures. They got a Snowland, so they'll get to kill Carter. But I think that's okay. I even get to leave up Frostbite. Maybe the play is block with the token and Frostbite something. And block with Hulk, instead of blocking with Carter. Wow, that's good. Oh, except that now I get to eat their 2 ground creatures. For free, even. Because they didn't play the Snowland. I look way ahead now. Well, that's pretty good. 3, 1, 2, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I think I just want to push damage. We'll equip you, I guess. Send everybody. And do this. So board wipe is problematic, but otherwise I don't see losing this game. That's true, having 2 tokens to sack is nice. If they just play, I mean, if they just play a blocker, they're dead on board, so it's not like they're going to do that either. I'm pretty sure the only way I could lose that game was to a board wipe. Well, I mean, this has gone quite well. We're, what, like an hour in? I mean, a big part of that is because I'm playing this red-black aggro deck. If I was playing what you usually play in these sealed decks, the, like, snow pile, we wouldn't be there. After I finish, though, I'm not going to set up another sealed, since today is the last day to do it. And I wouldn't expect to finish. So I think I'll be on standard after this. I mean, you can't throw a hand away with Tergrid, right? I think I'm on Dwarven Reinforcements for Tel on 2 over the Disciple. That's actually pretty good against me. So I'm actually on Bloodline Pretender next turn, because it gets 2 1/1 counters after playing the Dwarven Reinforcements. That is not a card you see very often. Are they actually on Elves? That's pretty interesting. Berserker. This card could be a major problem for me if they have a bunch of other elves. If I top deck a land, I will probably kill that 2/2 and play the Dwarven Reinforcements. Because Bloodline Pretender being a shapeshifter means that Squash only costs 2. Yes! I love it when things happen the way you want. Squash you. Alright, and now they only have 1 mana, so I'm happy to play this. Get in for 4. Use up all my luck now. Well, my luck's been pretty horrendous over most of the rest of the sealed, so if that's how it works, I'm due for a while. Ugh, that was really good. Alright, we're gonna Lantern, get this party rolling. If I can top deck a land, I can play Disciple and then activate Lantern twice, or activate Lantern once and leave up Jarl. Yeah, hope they don't have Vandal. If they can blow up my Lantern, I'm in much worse shape. Well, there's my land. So let's do this first. And let's play Land Disciple. And I think I'm good with sending both of the dwarves. Thought being that whichever one, or the packmate will block and I'll Jarl to finish it. And then I get to kill like their 2/1 or something. And then I have my 3/2 on the board and the Lantern to just keep things rolling. Why would they block with their 3/2 and not their 1/2? I don't understand that. Now, if they have Vandal, the 1/3, I'm actually in pretty bad shape. Even though I'm way ahead on life, I'll be basically at parity on the board. And I have no cards left. Bergstrider I'm totally okay with, though. Let's just do this. Okay, so as weird as this is, I am going to just pass. My thought is... Oh, you know what? I should have foretold the Tergrid Shadow is what I should have done. My thought is that I can Tergrid Shadow at instant speed, but I'm actually just going to do this. So I'm going to... Oh, that tramples, huh? They're attacking. Interesting. Alright, well, let's see what you want to do with this. So I'm probably Tergrid Shadowing here, right? Which means I should just block and soak 1 damage. Yeah. Unless they play a card draw spell, it means they can't play any more spells for the rest of the game. Because they have to, I guess it comes into play like creature or something would work. So good to know about that thing. Not that I can like play around it or anything, but just good to know about. And dead. Man, this lantern is crushing it. Do I put shackles in for this opponent? Probably not. I mean, they still just have like some cheap stuff. It'd be sweet to take like a Vorinclex, but it's probably just not good enough. Yeah, Greed Lantern is so good. Again, what would I cut if I was going to do that? I don't particularly want to cut anything, so we'll just run it back. Yeah, that last hand really got there. Ooh. Do I rely on the heart of the cards here? To draw a creature in the first, like, basically 3 draws? So I have, like, 15 or 16 creatures, right? So if we call it 16, that's roughly half. Which means I'm 75% to draw a creature in my first 2 draws, and like 87.5 to draw one in my first 3. I'm counting like the Dwarven Reinforcements. I guess I'll keep it. It's pretty borderline, but I think I can get there. And note that I do have 3 Snowlands. Oh, that was terrible. Which means that my Frostbite is on if I draw that. Which is just a minor upside. Creature. Creature. Yes! Alright, just keep the creatures coming. Keep them coming. Dual lands, I don't know that being a game up should change my choices at all. I think every game should stand alone. That's a good card. That was also a good card. I play that over the Helm, right? I mean, over equipping the Helm. So this gets a counter every time one of my things dies, and then they can remove the counters to exile stuff with converted mana cost less than or equal to the stuff. Okay. Okay, so I think what I'm doing here is I'm going to go equip Helm to the Cavalry, swing. They block, probably the Berserker, take 3. They can remove their counter from Seryl's Packmate to remove the Helm, which is actually pretty bad for me. But they don't necessarily know that, and then I can squash. And they can't remove the token at instant speed. Except for the mountain I drew on the first draw, I have drawn reasonably well. Alright, so they didn't remove the counter, so that's good for me. Sure. Alright, so I'm going to squash here, and then send the cavalry. And they probably block, and that's fine. They take 1 in trade. And then I have Tergrid Shadow, and that becomes my new game plan, I think. Ooh, they didn't block. I think Shadow's still my game plan, though. Oh, do they have Draugr's Return? Yeah, shoot. And those were both wolves. Oh, get wrecked. Who didn't foretell? I'm tapped out. My opponent just got these back at the end of their turn. That's interesting. No, didn't you just see I was tapped out? I played squash. Two turns ago? Yeah, maybe. Alright, I think I'm just doing this. I'm going to Tergrid Shadow on their turn. And then on my turn, I'll get to play Disciple and Valkyrie, and then when Valkyrie attacks, it gets to boast and sack it. No, I don't want to foretell, because I don't want to give away that I have something. Hopefully they don't have, like, a Sot coming. Nice. Alright, make them discard. Play the Valkyrie. Now, even if they have a removal spell for the Valkyrie, Double Helm makes the Disciple a real threat. Oh, they have their own? Nice. Alright, now I need to draw creatures. Just like literally any creatures. That wasn't a creature. Ooh, that's good. That is bad. Maybe losing this game now. Don't I have a Feed the Serpent in my deck? Yeah, I saw it early on. I was just thinking like I haven't seen it ever, but... Oh no. Oh no. Well, I was due for a game like this at some point, right? If they play nothing, Feed the Serpent keeps me in the game. No, I think I think I'm out of draws. Well, land definitely doesn't do it. Alright, so they have their own Tergrid Shadow. That is something I need to keep in mind. I feel like that card's quite good against me, which is funny because I'm playing it. I still don't think that I change anything. Like, I could play Funeral Longboat. It's true. My deck's much better when I get to play Lantern. Longboat, I would have to replace like Tormentor's Helm or something with Longboat. The nice thing about Longboat is that it like survives a Tergrid Shadow, and then like any creature turns the Longbow back on. But it's also just not a creature. And it's not big enough to, like, power through anything else. So I think I'm just off it. I think it just wasn't fast enough, didn't draw a Lantern. My opponent drew early spells and powerful spells and just got me. I mean, that's the danger of playing an aggro deck like mine. If you can't kill them fast enough, they can just beat you. I don't have an early play, but I have to keep this. Really want to draw like a 2-drop or a 3-drop, and then 1 land. Specifically a swamp. So I can get this Valkyrie into play. Well, I did draw a land, wasn't a swamp. Alright. A creature I can play on my next turn. 2 or 3-drop. I'm not going to kill that. Ooh, now I am. 2 or 3-drop. 2 or 3-drop? I'll take it. I killed the 1/2 there because I didn't want them to be able to ramp up their mana. Ooh. Alright, are we on Valkyrie or Tergrid? I think I'm on Valkyrie. When you say bears, do you mean the wolf or do you mean the 2 1/1s? I'm sorry, the 2 2/1s. Either way, yes. The 2 2/1s was my last opponent, not this opponent. Never mind. If they attack, I think I don't block. Oh, that was pretty good. Do I block now? Okay, well, I'm really glad to see that before I play the Lantern. Definitely got paid off for waiting there. Yeah, it's just Lantern. Even though Tergrid would be good here. They're 1 black mana off Tergrids if they have it. I'm not quite sure what you're saying, Dual Lance. Alright, opponent. Can you beat my board? That's all I got. Ah, Tergrid Shadow is what you meant. I see. I think this is just better than playing the wings. We're just going to keep doing this. Oh, I like my spot. If they have some sort of creature disenchant, I don't like my spot. Well, that makes things a little harder. So, interestingly, I think I'm actually on Raven Wings over deal 3, is that right? Because then next turn I get to attack for 4. Play the Berserker. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably better. This is more mana efficient, and next turn I can still equip the Helm and Lantern if that's what I want to do. Oh, now I can play the Wings and Lantern. So I get their card and their last 3 life, or their card and their creature. It's got to be their life. Well, because I have lethal on the board, so there's no reason to sack the creature there, I think. Lantern does it again! Well, that was a nice clean 4-0. That could have day 2'd me right there. Yeah, Lantern was nuts. You know, I can't change the deck icon to the Lantern. I can only change it to Tergrid, the front side. Let's see, do we have enough packs to open 10? I don't bother with single packs. Ooh, I do. Okay. Alright, so we'll play some standard. So right now, it's a traditional standard. Actually, let me show you the deck first. Oh, not profile. Okay, so last sealed deck, I think I went 2 and 3 with that deck. I once again got like pretty unlucky, but that's just the way it goes. Okay, so this deck is another Emergent Ultimatum deck. So I don't know how much standard you all have seen, but right now the main decks are Mono Red Aggro, Mono White Weenie, both of which are snow-based, Yorion Ultimatum. There are some people playing Esper Yorion, which I think is Yorion Doom. There's Gruul Aggro or Gruul Adventure and Temur Adventure. And then there's like a mono blue snow deck that's definitely not tier 1. And then there's like a red blue like counters, and I guess you could call it a control deck. It's like red blue snow and it's based around the dragon, which is also not tier 1. And I just found this deck, which is another take on Emergent Ultimatum, but instead of being 80 card Yorion deck, just hard control, it's a mix between this and the adventure deck. Yeah, Red Blue Flash, that's the name for the red blue deck I was coming up with. So what you get out of the adventure deck is you get Edgewald Innkeeper, so you get the card advantage off that. And then you get to play Lovestruck Beast, which is just an aggressive creature. You get to play Beanstalk Giant, which the Ultimatum decks were already playing the Cultivates and Wolf Willowhaven. So this plays Cultivate and Beanstalk Giant instead. So you get this sort of adventure package, which allows you to play an aggressive game against the other Ultimatum decks. And you have an early Fae of Wishes or Lovestruck Beast, which is really good at blocking against the aggro decks. And then you also have a long game plan of Emergent Ultimatum. And so Emergent Ultimatum says you get to look for 3 monocolored cards with different names and exile them. Your opponent chooses 1 to shuffle back into your library, and you get to cast the other 2 without paying their mana cost. So when you cast it, your most common targets are some combination of Valki, where you get to cast Tibalt, Vorinclex, 6/6 Trample Haste, and it doubles all the counters you put on your stuff, and halves all the counters your opponents put on their stuff, which isn't that important. Alrand's Epiphany, take an extra turn and get 2 bird tokens, and Kiora Vest the Sea God, which gives you an 8/8, and then you get to tap all their stuff, and they stay tapped for a turn, and then you get to take one of their things. So the idea is, if you take the extra turn card, they almost always put that one back. And then you can take Vorinclex and Valki, which, if you stack it right, Vorinclex comes into play. Then you play Tibalt, comes in with 10 counters on it. Or you can get Vorinclex and Kiora Vest the Sea God, and then you get an 8/8, and then it immediately goes to the second stage, where you tap all their stuff. if they put Vorinclex back and you get an extra turn and Kioribus the Sea God, then you get both phases anyways, plus you get an attack. Or you get the extra turn plus Tibalt, and then you get 2 activations of Tibalt. You can also dig out Great Henge, although so far I haven't done that very many times. But if Great Henge is going to be better for you, you can do that. The other big draw to this deck is Fae of Wishes, which has the sorcery side granted, which lets you dig out a non-creature from your sideboard. Yes, Vorinclex and Sagas triggers both Sagas, if the Vorinclex is in play when the Saga comes into play. So you'll see if I cast any Emergent Ultimatums that I actually have to stack the cards, and if I stack them wrong and Vorinclex comes in second, then you don't get both triggers. So Fae of Wishes, specifically granted, lets you pull stuff out of the sideboard. So you can get Cling to Dusk against rogues to mostly just to play an escape card, so that you can keep them off of you having 7 or 8 cards in your graveyard. I've actually, interestingly enough, often dug for a Duress against the Ultimatum deck. What happens in the next turn? Do you still get Phase 3? Yes, you still get Phase 3. If there was a Phase 4, you would get Phase 4 too, but of course that's not. There is no Phase 4. So most commonly, strangely enough, against the other Ultimatum decks, I'll granted specifically for Duress and Duress them to make sure that on the next turn I'm clear to like resolve an ultimatum or make sure they can't resolve an ultimatum because I'm not playing any counter spells, that kind of thing. You can grab a Negate or Mystical Dispute, but that's not a thing I normally do. There's a removal spell you can get, and a Soul Shatter, which is a removal spell that deals with the 4/4 Haste Dragon without giving them extra treasures. You can dig out a Shadow's Verdict if that's good for you. You can dig out an Emergent Ultimatum, that's where the 4th one is, instead of the main deck. And you can dig out an Ugin, although I have yet to do that. And then the rest of the sideboard is Toski, which is really good against any of the counters decks, so like Blue-Red Flash or Emergent Ultimatum or the Blue Snow deck. It can't be countered, they can't kill it, it's just sort of a draw engine. The Mystical Disputes and Negates often go in those decks. Against Rogues, Chainweb Arachneer is good. Having Reach and then having Escape are both really good against them. And then you can, against Rogues, you probably board in the Cling to Dusk. That way, if they mill it, you have an escape card in your yard. And that's the game plan. So, let's play some games. Let's see. Traditional, standard, ranked. Dual lands, Ultimatum, Goldfishing is like turn 5 or 6, right? Because if you play 1 Cultivate, so you have 3 Cultivates and 3 Beanstalk Giants, either one will get you to turn 6, but both of them will allow you to do it on turn 5. That's not super common. Ultimatum's more of an endgame kind of card, not a race to the end. But it can happen. So they're on Yorion, which means they're probably on Ultimatum. This is not going to do it, so I'll throw this back. Oh, there's no green in this hand. If there's green in this hand, this would actually be pretty good, but there's not, so I'm going to mulligan. Alright, I'll keep this one. I think I have to put Great Henge back, because I just don't have creatures to support it. And then I'm putting back a land. I guess Fabled Passage. I'm going to play the Innkeeper on 1. Not that like 1 damage is a lot of pressure, but one of the ways that you beat Ultimatum is that you pressure them enough to force them into not being able to play their good cards and having to answer your cards instead. Ooh, white land. So maybe they're on what's it called? Doom. Esper Doom. I'm not gonna play a Fae of Wishes here. I really want to be able to use the granted side. Dual lands, to fully answer your question, I said 5 or 6, but realistically, it's usually more like 6 on Goldfishing. Alright, land's not bad. So I am actually going to play a Fae of Wishes now, because I get to draw a card off Edgewold Innkeeper, and last turn it was going to cost me playing the tapped land. This turn it cost me nothing, besides, you know, not being able to play Granted. Nightmare, okay, Edgewold Innkeeper down. So I'm playing my land, and then I am not playing Granted. The reason I'm not playing Granted is right now Elspeth Nightmare hits nothing. If I play Granted, it hits whatever it granted for. Yeah, they're definitely Esper Doom. I was very glad to not see a Doom that turn, because they would be able to sack their Nightmare for it. Alright, so I am going to Granted. The question is, what am I going to Granted for? I'm unsure of that. Are they countering it? They do know my whole hand. Not. I could pick up a Negate. I could pick up Ultimatum. And then Duress as an option too. I think I pick up Ultimatum. That way, if I draw any untapped land, I have a play. So if I draw the red land, it's Valki. If I draw any other land, it's Ultimatum. It probably gets countered, but, you know, what else am I going to do? Pick up Duress, try and take their counter, and then have nothing to play? Get my 1 damage in. He's sacking the egg for a card. Oh, Ominously. Okay, that's good. Because now that means if they have Doom, they can sack that and the egg, so I can't just wait out the Doom. Oh no, they ate my graveyard. Oh, they had another Yorion. That's pretty good. So I'm not thrilled with my odds here. I did find a land. Green blue. Alright, we'll play it on the blue side. I guess I'll play this side of the exile zone. So I do have Emergent Ultimatum next turn, but they don't know that because they don't know what my third card is. They don't know it's a land. But if I were them, I would probably leave up a counterspell if they have one. Because any land, so I have 2 green, 2 blue. Any land except specifically Island allows me to play Emergent Ultimatum next turn. I only have 1 blue though. Nightmare, sure. Yeah, I'm gonna let it happen. So I could discard 2 cards to save it, but I'd have to discard the land and Ultimatum, because otherwise they get Ultimatum next turn, and I'd rather just Ultimatum into their counterspell if that's what they have. Yep. Alright, well, they don't have a counterspell. So I get to Ultimatum here. I found another Ultimatum. That's actually pretty bad, because they get to get it, but that's alright. Alright, so Curibus the Sea God is pretty good. They could still Wrath it away. I think I want Valki regardless. And I think I want the extra turn card. So do I want Vorinclex? Yeah, I think I want Vorinclex. Maybe they give me like the extra turn and Vorinclex or something. Valky's good because I can just exile their Yorion. Yes, Doom is Doom Foretold dual lands. Yeah, I definitely have to include... Oh, they're giving me the extra turn. Nice. So yeah, they're dead. Because I have another ultimatum. But they didn't know that, of course. Let's take this. Get in for the 1. They're not literally dead. But they're basically dead. So now I want Vorinclex, the extra turn, and I guess Curibus the Sea God. Could also be Great Henge. No, I think I'll just take Curibus the Sea God. Alright. Okay, so the counterspells come in, and Toski comes in. Shadow's Verdict is garbage. And I think what I've decided is that I want to try and go under them because they still have the better overgame. So I've been boarding out like the ultimatums. And with the thought of being, I can still get ultimatum if that's what I want to do with Fae of Wishes. Or granted, rather. And then Pelucranos doesn't do much, so I can cut that. They probably have Wrath effects, so Curibus the Sea God gets worse. Yeah, I think I can cut that. Oh, Extinction Event's back. Alright, so which card do I want back? I could... I could put... No, I don't want Heartless Act. I guess Pelucranos comes back, just as another creature. Bringing back one ultimatum doesn't really do a whole lot. So the point is that they usually bring in counterspells. I actually prefer Duress in the sideboard because sometimes I want to Granted for it. I know 5 mana Duress is kind of ludicrous, but sometimes that's all you want. Sometimes you're willing to pay 5 mana to Duress to make sure they can't ultimatum on their next turn. And the game plan is actually to get aggro on them, which is why I'm bringing in the Pelucranos. So now my deck looks a lot closer to, like, Gruul Adventures. I mean, it's slower than that, but I'm a lot closer to that game plan with outs to, like, Granted for stuff. I haven't decided if this is right or not because it's very possible that they're sideboarding for an aggro deck. But if I sideboard the other way where I try to go big and they sideboard for an aggro deck, they're kind of screwed. So it's interesting on the opponent's side how they sideboard. And so I've just decided to try to take more of an aggro plan. Sure. So I'm on Innkeeper 1. And then we'll see what the next play is. It might be Fae of Wishes to draw a card. It might be play a tapped land if I draw like a beast or another innkeeper. Do those swaps change your lands at all? I mean, I don't have other lands to play, so I don't know how that's a relevant question. I don't think this is an important turn to keep up negate. So I'm just going to play another innkeeper. It is certainly possible that they're playing like the -2/-2 for black, black, and 1 out of the sideboard, and if they are, then that's just the way it goes. That doesn't seem super likely to me. Alright. Another innkeeper. So I think I'm on this. Attack for 2. Play a third innkeeper, leave up negate. And then if they don't play anything for me to negate, next turn I play Fae of Wishes and draw 3 cards and can still leave up negate. I guess I want to go get a swap with this. And then just play Fae of Wishes as an Ancestral Recall. An Ancestral Recall with a 1/4 flying attached to it. I guess it does cost 2 mana, not 1. And send. Yeah, that's fine. Still leaving up negate in case they play a Wrath. They may just play a Yorion though. Oh, they're taking 3 to play a Yorion? That's probably good for me. Alright, I am going to Lovestruck Beast here without playing the adventure side because I still want to leave up negate. I think it probably just tells my opponent that I have negate, but that's fine. Sure. So if they don't play anything here that I care about, I'm on Doom Foretold. Do I care about that? I sack Fae of Wishes. I bounce their Yorion. I attack for 7. If I draw an untapped land, I attack for lethal. So that's fine. I bounce Yorion. If I top deck a land, I win. An untapped land. I didn't. So I guess I just attack. And then I cultivate. Or do I want to leave up 2 negates? I can't play Borrower because then I can't leave up negate because I don't have 3 blue. I could also Epiphany, or Foretell Epiphany. Yeah, let's do that. My thought being that if they tap out but still kill my Lovestruck Beast, I can take an extra turn and kill them. Alright, got there. So, from what I can tell from this deck, what's cool about it is that it's mid-range. So, the idea being that it can beat aggro and may have trouble against control. But what's cool about it is it can play like an aggro deck, which some mid-range decks don't do. I mean, you don't always get to play out that way. But it means you have game against everyone, and it actually feels like pretty good game. Like, I haven't decided yet, but it feels a little bit coin flippy against the Yorion Ultimatum. But I feel a bit advantaged against the other aggro decks I've played against so far. So I think so I haven't actually played against Mono White yet. I have a winning record against Mono Red, but I'm not sure if that's just because I've done better or if that's because it's actually advantaged. You have a lot of early plays against Mono Red, which makes me think that it may work out just fine, or that you're advantaged, but I don't know that for certain. I think it's better though. Island, not Snow Island, and no Yorion. This could be a mirror. It could also be like Temur Adventures. I'm just trying to decide if I want to play this Clearwater Pathway as a black source and play Valki. And I don't really know what they're about. But if they have an island, they probably have counterspells. So I think I want to get on the board more. So they are Temur Adventures. Question is, do I want Beanstalk Giant or Brazen Borrower? I think I want the Borrower, because otherwise they can bounce Valki and get their card back. Not that that's super relevant. But I could next turn Valki into a Borrower if I wanted. Probably not doing that either. I'm probably just cultivating. They're not going to foretell? Interesting. What does that tell me? Does that mean they have the counter unless you pay 1 card? I don't know what that tells me. Maybe a burn spell? They do have the counter unless you pay 1. Okay. Yuppers. So I get to resolve Polukranos here, and then that's probably a pretty tough card for them to deal with. Alright, well let's do that before I Fabled Passage. Get in. So this is a key turn. I do have Polukranos, so even if they like play a dragon or something, I can fight the dragon. Talking about the 4/4 haste dragon. Does of course shorten my clock, or lengthen my clock, I guess, because Polukranos would get smaller. All right, that's pretty good. That was not good. So they get to bounce Pelucranos here. No, they didn't. Interesting. Let's see what happens when I attack. Oh, they'll bounce it. That's what'll happen. I think they were supposed to foretell saw it coming, because then they could counter it on the way back down, and now they can't. They do get to play the Beanstalk Giant next turn, though. Interesting. I want to cycle the Zygoth Triumph, but if I draw Ultimatum next turn and I don't play Triumph here, then I can't play Ultimatum next turn. So I guess I'm actually playing the Triumph, as awkward as that is. Because they're playing the Giant next turn for sure, so that they can block Pelucranos. I guess they could have something else now. Alright, that's pretty good, because now they can block for a while. So what I want to draw is one of my... Oh, they're leaving up a counterspell. Okay. So I just go fight, fight. All right. So are they forced into playing the Giant now? Oh, Ugin. Alright. That was pretty good. That does mean if I can draw, like, Ultimatum, Valky doesn't actually do it. But Ultimatum, granted, doesn't get me there either. Vorinclex would do it. Yeah, basically I just want to draw Ultimatum here. Ask and you shall receive. Alright, so the extra turn card, obviously. Curiobus the Sea God and Vorinclex. And then they're dead. So either they give me the 6/6 haste and I win, or they don't give me that and I get an 8/8 and 2 1/1s and an extra turn. Alright, so their Temur Ramp, which is a deck I tested pretty early on and didn't feel like it was that good. So Negate's probably good enough. Shadow's Verdict is bad. Probably Extinction Event. It's like decidedly mediocre. I could play Toski, but they definitely have ways to block Toski, and they have an answer to it with Ugin, because they can exile Toski with the minus. So I don't really want to play it. And I could play Mystical Dispute, but I'm basically only playing Mystical Dispute to dispute their disputes if they bring them in. Because otherwise, like, I mean, I can dispute a Behold the Multiverse or whatever, but I can't really dispute their good spells without paying 3 mana for them. there anything I actively want to cut? Brazen Borrower is kind of meh. But I don't think Mystical Dispute's any better, so I'm going to roll with it this way. Mana's good. Yep, just keep it. Have a 1-drop. Probably not going to 2-drop Fae of Wishes, but then I can cultivate. One of the problems that I found with this deck is it just kind of folds to like mono red. It's just not fast enough. It doesn't have enough 2-drops. And it has trouble with counterspells. The Ultimatum deck wasn't really a thing when I was testing it, but the red-blue deck was. Well, that's pretty good, because I can foretell that. So delay the decision. That's another trick with this deck, or any deck that's playing these flip lands. The longer you can wait to decide which side you want, the better. Okay, so I have an interesting decision here. So this is blue-black, this is black-green. Do I cultivate, or do I Lovestruck Beast? If I cultivate, I have 5 mana next turn, which is basically nothing. So I think that means I Lovestruck Beast. So I have a black-green and a black-blue. I think I'm more likely to want double blue than double green at this point. So I'll do this one. This just applies more pressure, which is what I want to do. They could definitely have their dragon here. And then my next turn is cultivate, and then the turn after that I'm at 6, so I can take an extra turn. And the turn after that, assuming I have enough lands, I can Kiora Best the Sea God. And I didn't find their double red. So green-blue land, and blue-black land, okay. Well, let's attack first. Alright. So I need to play land first, because they could have the counter unless you pay 1. And I don't want to get wrecked by that. So I've got blue-black and green-blue. Let's play the green-blue one and cultivate. Let's pretend like I have the counter unless they pay 3 for 1 blue on a blue spell. There's only 2 Valkyries and there's 3 Valkies, and there's 3 ultimatums. So I'm not gonna pick up the red source. I guess I'll get a swamp. This is blue-black, right? So swamp forest, I guess, or island forest. And then I'd rather have too much blue than too much black. Alright, so 7 mana is a big turn. They could do a lot with 7 mana. Or they can just play a 7/7. Alright, so this is going to be black. I'm going to take an extra turn, and then I'm going to Kiora Best the Sea God. Yeah, I may end up using Granted for Ultimatum, but I'm going to Kiora Best the Sea God here, because the Phase 2 is lethal for them, so they have to do something here. Okay, Genesis Ultimatum. I think they're still dead, though, unless, like, they hit Ugin or something like that. No, they hit Ugin. -3 is pretty good here. Oh, they're going to -7. That feels wrong to me, because -3 would have gotten my whole board. They would have been left with their giant. And sure, I'd get phase 2. Well, and then I would have gotten to steal something, I guess. Alright, so we're going to grant it for something. I don't know what yet. Have I played a land yet? I haven't. So I could take Ultimatum. I could also Duress. So the worst cards for me are another Ultimatum. They have 5, 9, so if they played a land, 10 mana. So the counter's not good. Or Ugin. So my consideration here is I could take Duress and Duress them. But if I do that, the next turn I'm just granting for another Ultimatum. I think I would rather take the Ultimatum here. Oop. And just grant it again. And take a Duress, I guess. I don't know if Duress matters. Could also take Ugin to just have another threat. They could have a counterspell, though. I want to be able to deal with a counterspell, and Duress is the best way to do that. Assuming I have enough black, which I do. So I'll take Duress. Yeah, next turn I can Duress and Ultimatum, but they can Ugin or Ultimatum themselves right now. And still leave up a counterspell. Which is all the things that I need to think about when I was making my decision. Foretell? What does that deck foretell? Sot Coming or Sot Coming's pretty good. Oh, Edgewall Innkeeper is pretty good too. It's Duress. Okay. I'm gonna Innkeeper. Because this could still be another Sot Coming. So if they let that resolve, then I can play this game instead. Sure. Drew Vorinclex, okay. So, I guess they probably have another Sot Coming. Let's play this on the blue side. Let's play this. If they counter it, they didn't. So I guess I'll play another Fae of Wishes, and I can still represent a negate. What I can't do is buy back my Fae of Wishes if they Ugin. But if they Ugin and -2, Ugin goes to 5 and Vorinclex can kill it. That's pretty good. Oh, this only costs 2. Sick. For some reason I thought it cost 4. Two, 4, 6, 8, 9 mana. Alright, so if I ultimatum, I'm like basically certain that it gets countered. But I think that's fine because I have another ultimatum. Alternatively, I can just Vorinclex. But I can't double spell if I Vorinclex, so it's not actually any better. So I'll just play the ultimatum. I'm gonna do full control so I can represent the negate and just decide to not negate their counterspell. Yeah. Okay. Well, that wasn't too bad. So the Emergent Ultimatum deck is basically what replaced this deck, and you're seeing why right now. So what do I have left in my sideboard? I have Mystical Dispute. I have an Emergent. No, I took the Emergent. I have an Ugin. Excuse me. Alright, let's just do this. See what happens. And then I'll play... Sure. I'll play the Innkeeper. And then next turn I'll plan to Ultimatum. I'm still representing Negate. In case they try to Ugin. I mean, they'll probably just play into it at this point. Alright, so play the land first, right? 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, that way I can pay 3. And Ultimatum. Balls. Alright, I am probably dead now. I don't really have anything. I have an Ugin to hit off Granted, but that's not that good. They can ultimate Ugin next turn. Alright, so Granted. It's just Ugin, right? I have nothing else. Yeah. Get my own Ugin. I guess play this to block. It's pretty bad for me. I think I'm dead this game. Maybe we'll get him in game 3. You know? I kind of have to Ugin for 6 because I have to get that Shark Typhoon off the board. And then they can just shoot Ugin with their Ugin. That's fair, Mononokel. Shark Typhoon gets more play than a card named Shark Typhoon shit. I could do this. I could just try to draw some cards. Let's do that. Land was not what I wanted to see. So if they minus Ugin for anything, it gets all their shark tokens. Alright. Well, I'm dead. Alright, does that make me want Mystical Dispute? It would basically just be to dispute their disputes. It could also dispute an early Behold, I guess. Or like, sometimes it could hit a sock coming. Blue Chronos doesn't really do anything, so I can cut that pretty safely. I don't know what else I would cut. Also, I'm not sure if Mystical Dispute or Toski is better. It looks like they're going more a control route rather than having any creatures, so maybe Toski's good enough. What gets cut for Toski, though? For second Toski, I mean. Maybe the second Valky? Yeah, because they're really just on a Planeswalker plane, right? They're on like Shark Typhoon, and Planeswalkers. Okay. Alright, this will be my last game of the night. Reminder that I will be streaming at 8 o'clock tomorrow, that's Pacific time, Dual Lands, for my open. No green sources, mulligan. Ugh. This hand's really bad too. Do I have to throw back? I think I have to throw back. Great Henge could catch me up, but I don't have any creatures that allow me to cast Great Henge. All I have is a 1 power creature at the moment. Yeah, with Fave Wishes I can Great Henge on 8. Good timing. Yeah, this hand just doesn't do anything. This hand does. So 1 Toski is going back. And I guess Beanstalk Giant? Yeah. Yeah, Lovestruck Beast Great Henges. That's one of the reasons to do the thing. That's one of the main reasons to play Gruul at all. I would love an Edgewald Innkeeper. That would be sweet. So then I could go Innkeeper, Lovestruck Beast on 3, reasonable chance at hitting a 4th land by then, and then Toski and get some cards. No. Alright, we'll just play the Forest, I guess, and attack. So Lovestruck Beast might just get countered here with the... No? Okay. I was going to say with the counter unless they pay 1. So if all they do is like cultivate, then I get to Toski, get in for 6 and draw 2 cards. That's pretty good. They've left up a counter spell or a removal spell. What instant speed removal do they play? So I have the option to Lovestruck Beast, Adventure, and then the Beast, or I can play Toski. I think Lovestruck Beast option is better because it puts more pressure, and that's more important. I'm doing this pre-combat in case they have a removal spell, so I can still get in with my other beast. Okay. So it turns out Toski would have been good, but Toski's going to be good next turn too. Also note Toski's a 1/1, so it turns on my Lovestruck Beast, even if they kill my 1/1. Yeah, Toski not being able to be countered is a big deal for that card. It being indestructible and uncounterable is what makes it playable. Alright, Toski. I mean, look how cute Toski is. Like, if you're a Lovestruck Beast, of course you're going to be in love with Toski. Alright, so do they, yeah, take 10. I get to draw 2. Well, those weren't good draws, but this has turned out pretty good for a Moldifive. Note that if they have a, the 3/1 that can bounce a thing, they can keep the Lovestruck Beast from attacking for a turn by bouncing Toski during my combat step. Really? I mean, they could have scryed to the bottom and drawn 2. That seemed preemptive. But there you go. So Toski was really good that game. So, that is my stream for the night. On Monday, you will get to see more Standard. I'll probably play a couple of decks rather than just one deck. Right now, I'm on this for the Mythic qualifier next weekend. But I haven't tested with like Mono White that much. And it's been a while since I tested with Mono Red. So we'll see. But you'll get to see several of those things on Monday if you join me. That'll be at 7 p.m. And then, of course, I will be streaming tomorrow at 8 for the Arena Open. If I make day 2, I will decide if I'm going to stream day 2 or not. I'll let you know tomorrow. So if you're there and I make day 2, I'll let you know if I'm planning to stream the next day. If I am, I will put it on my calendar on Twitch, so you can just look. And if it's on there, then I'm streaming, and if it's not, then I'm not. So at the Open, do you have the option of entering more than once if you don't get there on your first entry? Yes. On day 1, you can enter as many times as you want. You have to pay the entry fee each time, of course, which is the 22,500 gold or 4,500 gems, so it's not cheap. But, of course, it takes a while. So I'm basically, like, if I don't make it on my first go, I'll play a second one, but after a second one, I'm probably done. Probably give up after that. My thought being, like, I can't spend my whole weekend streaming. You know, I gotta be around with my family some, too. So I will probably be playing 1 if it goes well, or 2 if it doesn't, tomorrow, which means the stream will be anywhere between, like, a couple hours if it goes real poorly. Honestly, if it goes really, really poorly, I might play a third one because it's fast. But realistically, I'll probably be streaming anywhere between, like, 2 hours if it goes well and, like, 4 hours if it doesn't. So we'll see. Feel free to check in whenever you are free, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. In the meantime, let me check and see if Archie is on. I doubt that he is. But if he is, I will raid him. If I can figure out how to do that. Friends. Nope, he's offline. Alright, well, have a good evening, and hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow. Yeah, the plan will be best of 1 tomorrow. I'm more interested in getting to day 2 than I am in gems, and your odds are a little bit better, 5% better, which is noticeably better, on best of 1, whereas you have better gem payouts in best of 3, but I'm not so worried about the gems. I have roughly infinite at this point. So, see y'all tomorrow, hopefully, at 8 o'clock my time, dual lands, that is 11 o'clock your time. And I will see you all later.